Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yeah. Good evening, Stalin.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The great August. It's good to see so many people removing time and joining this Zoom call session. We truly feel the digital age. We're utilizing digital to the extreme sense. Let me quickly invite our panel speakers so that we can go ahead with the session. We were expecting another 70 to 80 more people, but they are currently occupied in a different meeting, which is supposed to get over at least half an hour back. Apparently, that's the buzz that we have got. As soon as meeting gets over, they will join us over here. But we don't want to waste the people who have already logged in. We don't want to waste your time. Hence, we, in the interest of starting the session, right? Great. So let me first call on panel Mr. Sanjay Chugh. He's City Head and Senior Vice President for Anarok Property Consultant Private Limited, Chennai. Sanjay has roughly around 20 plus years of work experience. He's headed JLL for the Chennai domain for 5 to 8 years time. He was an entrepreneur for some time, and then recently for last 2.5 plus years, he's been the business for Anarok Chennai. Welcome, Sanjay.
Thank you, thank you, Stalin.
We have another gentleman again from the corporate, Mr. Abhishek Kumar. Abhishek Kumar is Associate Director, Growth and Marketing for Housing.com. When Housing.com got to know that a panel of expert channel partners are coming on board for a discussion, for a healthy discussion, they wanted an expert to come and give their insight about how the digital age, how the medium of digital media can promote and help each other, like the digital media helping us as channel partners to give an insight about customer preferences and choices, and also to help the customers to reach out to the best of the properties with the association. And for that, we invite Abhishek Kumar to come on board. Welcome, Abhishek.
Thank you, Stalin. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Abhishek. The next gentleman is again a veteran in the industry, Mr. Amit Damodar. He is completing his second as the Kriya president. That is, the term is second, but he's almost completed 3 years as the president. So a great experience over there. Been the VP. He's also is the VP of NAR India, partner of Lux Exclusive Home, and Amit has a very interesting milestone that they have recently achieved. That they have sold the group Lux Exclusive Home has sold premium apartments, which is at a record-breaking price. So they have got the milestone that they've achieved over there, and it's an aspiration for them to keep breakstone and invite others to reach to this milestone. Correct, Amit? Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stalin.
Thanks, Amit.
Thank you for the introduction.
The next gentleman on board is Mr. K. Ram Kumar. Again, a veteran in 25 plus years of real estate experience in the entrepreneurial side. I've been investing Mr. Ram Kumar for almost 3 years to give his experience into the residential domain as well, while he's been doing extremely well in the commercial and the warehousing. Look forward for your assistance in the residential business as well, sir. Welcome aboard for your insightful discussion.
Thank you, Stalin.
Pleasure. And we have another gentleman who is Mr. Rajesh Kataria. We're gathering all veterans over here. Again, another veteran, 15 plus years of real estate experience, again on the entrepreneurial side. President for TL Reka, founder of Elite Life Space and PropLeaf. And just quickly, while we were chatting up, Rajesh was enlightening us how in this pandemic's time and in this confinement period, or rather we call the lockdown period, how he was clocking more and more business. So welcome aboard, Rajesh. We'd love to hear more insights from you. We are ready to start our panel discussion.
Hear me?
We can feebly hear you. Is the transmission better, Rajesh? Okay, so we'll move ahead. Our topic for today, the new normal, the way forward. I'm sure past 2.5 months, the lingo for everybody. We've been repeatedly hearing lockdown, while we repeatedly been hearing about corona, the cases, the number of cases that has been increasing, the number of people who have been, and giving us the insight how the life of every individual is changing, and how every business or every individual person is trying to adopt the new normal and look forward for the way, right? So on that note, we would like to start this discussion on the normal and the way forward. So the first question I would like to ask Mr. Amit, what is this new normal? How is the real estate fraternity, the channel partners, adapting in connection to our clients? How are we evolving in this new normal?
Right. Yes, thank you, Stalin. So first things first, let know how the whole process begins. It all starts with an inquiry. So what we are seeing now is we are seeing loads of new inquiries. Well, what the lockdown has done is people are together at home, and actually people are feeling a little uncomfortable, sitting at home all the time with a larger family within the confined spaces. So they're coming for larger spaces. There's also work from home. There's also a school from home. Therefore, people are now inquiring more about larger spaces. The new normal, where this actually moves to is first is when we receive an inquiry. Earlier, we used to go and meet the customer. We would ideally want to go and meet house, go and look at his the way he lives, what's his comfort zone, understand what's his family about. Has he got kids? What are the amenities and the lifestyle that they're all looking at? Today, the new normal is actually talking to the client on a phone, doing a video call. We actually don't go and see their home, but we do request our clients to show us around, where show us around their existing house and what's their current lifestyle. So that's something new for us, something new for the client. The second thing is that now shared over emails and WhatsApp, we are giving customers video inspections. So it all starts with photographs and actually video inspections. The customer gets a feel site, and I don't know whether you've been to my website, Luxclusive Homes. So we do our own drone shots of sites. We actually build a customer experience. So we go pick up the customer, bring him to the site, all of that. Now we are not able to do all of that. So now let me give you one kind of an example. Yesterday I had visited a developer site. It was yesterday morning. All sites today have a proper SOP. So this case, an example was like, I called the salesperson and actually told the salesperson that I'm coming to the site. When I reached the gate, the security guard was already with car number, so I didn't even have to roll down the glass and converse with him. Even though I was wearing a mask and he was wearing a mask, we actually avoided that. He actually he just hand gestures on where to go. It was my first time to the site, so I actually drove to that particular point. There was a salesperson waiting for me. They had offered me, I didn't have one. They had a sanitizer there in their hand. They were wearing gloves, and they offered me gloves as well. We started our interaction in actually open air. We actually spoke about then we walked into the experience center where you had a sanitizer at the door. We spoke with a lot of distance, so we actually understood the project. Then we went to the mall. Again, at the model apartment, we had the sanitizer stand outside. Model apartment was actually well sanitized. So I went to actually was in place before bringing in my customer, because I wanted my customer to also feel safe over there. When we were entering the apartment, we also had the machine wherein we actually, put a shoe in, and we actually had the plastic cover on a shoe. The apartment was actually sanitized. There was something pasted on the door that it was sanitized about, and actually nobody else had had actually visited it. So from there, after seeing the apartment, we went to the other apartment, which was not, and then we actually came down. We spoke in open air again, and of course we've offered mineral water bottles, nothing else to drink, sanitized bottles given in our hand. And yeah, it was a pleasant experience. Everybody felt safe. Everyone felt comfortable coming for an inspection. I feel when I see this, and I'm going back there with my customer very soon. So that's the new normal.
Excellent. It seems like so gone into it. So much
Yes.
of thought process gone into it. So much of preparation, keeping in mind the safety and the essence of the client as well as of the business.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, doesn't it sound like deja vu for me?
Right.
Which is this developer? Who did you meet? Who's the salesperson?
Well, I was at your site, so I actually came to look at it once before bringing in a customer. But
Fantastic.
I don't want to, because we're looking at everybody having these kind of SOPs, so that customers feel very very comfortable.
100%. This is the hour. I mean, this is need of the hour, that while we are being safe with our family and while we are safe in the work environment, we also take measures that when our channel partners or our clients come in, they are also safe in a safe environment, in a sanitized environment, and help them in the process of making their decision making a little more faster. I'm sure there is a lot of digitalization, there's a lot of technology also evolving in the new, where you mentioned about the VR experience, seeing the photograph, seeing the digital video, and
Yes.
you also sanitized cars
Yes.
and something excellent conversation we
Absolutely.
had. Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm sure
So,
this is a great learning for we of the channel partners from the industry, that how we have to prepare ourselves to engage with our customers, give them the right message that
yeah.
they are taken care of well,
Yeah.
in terms of safety and assurance. Pleasure, Amit. Look forward to connect with you more. Uh, so let me move on to my next point, next topic of discussion. Sanjay, if I would like to point this question to you, you've been in this real estate industry for a very long time. You've seen how Chennai is evolved, developed, transformed, grown, and when the growth was at a certain stage, it started moving out. It started spreading on geographies, right? So as and when the new geographies grow, the new dynamics of real estate grows. How important is location? There is a saying that location, location, location. This is the only thing in real estate. How important is this aspect or phrase in the real estate domain?
Thanks, Talent. I think it's a very apt question what you asked me. The first thing that when we look for real estate or when we meet our clients looking for real estate, the first question which comes to mind is which part of the city, what is it they're looking for? So location is a foundation, or I would say the first point that the conversation starts before we go into a project, a developer, amenities, it's all secondary. So location actually determines the customer or the home buyer's preference as to where he wants to be or where she wants to be. The idea of the location is that today when you buy a home, you buy a home not only in the physical or hard form of the home, you also buy the entire ecosystem along with it, right? So you need to have proper roads, you need to have proper access, you need to have public transport connecting your home, you need to have shopping, you need to have schools, you need to have hospitals, you need to have social centers, recreation clubs. So it's a mix of everything. So when you choose a home, it's keeping in mind a lot of other parameters. It's not only the workplace or the schooling for the child, it's also about what do you get apart from the home that you're buying in. So the first criteria in my mind, and I think it's very apt to say that the home buying is specific and location, location, location actually is the start point and probably the end point of every real estate decision when you're looking at a home. For example, today, if you go into a place which has zero infrastructure, the roads are not formed, there's no water, there's no proper sanitization, it's not, you don't have the proper, you know, disposable mechanisms, what do you do? So it's a bit of a letdown, you know, so you have so many things that you don't have. And you come into an environment which has a proper road, which has everything. So if the physical infrastructure is in place, the social infrastructure, which is very important for you to have your pulling around, you have your shopping, you have your hospitals, you have everything around it. So today, as you look at it, although the city has expanded, but most people who buy a home today don't want to really travel. They want to be within a 10, 15, 20-minute traveling distance from the work or the school from their home. So this is exactly why location plays a very important role. Also, when you look at real estate pricing across the world, is a location that sells the most, right? In every city, in every country, in every location, it's basically what is the locality. So there is a price appreciation which happens based on the location that you stay in on a medium to long term. So hence it's very important, for us when we are in the business of real estate, that location actually is the most prime aspect of the decision of a home buyer.
Excellent, Sanjay. That's great insight. Sanjay, just to deliberate on this topic, now with the pandemic situation and the corona taking place, and there is so much of dynamics changing, where work from home as a concept is coming in. Also, what I have understood in Chennai is there is a corridor. There is a corridor for IT. There is a corridor for industry. There is a corridor. I mean, Mount Road is predominantly the finance and the banking hub. All the typical banking headquarters and stuffs are over there.
Yeah.
Now that this concept of work from home and convenience is coming in place, the dynamics earlier was different. People could not afford Mount Road. People could not afford, Nungambakam was growing, MRC was growing, and then the new markets was developing, like an OMR came up, like a GN Chetty Road came up, and things like that. Now with this way forward, what do you think the dynamics of real estate is going to change for locations?
So what would happen is the earlier locations that we thought were now, like you said, a financial hub, being Mount Road or any other hub, whether it's a textile hub like T Nagar. So I think every location today has its own hub. So if you look at OMR, OMR has got its own financial services, it's got its own shopping, it's got everything. So every location today is very self-contained. You really don't need to leave A location to go to B or B to C. The earlier concept was if you had to shop, you had to go to, say, a Nungambakam. Earlier it started off at Paris Corner, then it moved to, say, T Nagar. Now, when you look at people who live in the suburbs, or who live in the periphery of the city, they don't really travel into the CBD for shopping. So every location is becoming self-contained. Every area is becoming quite self-contained. So there's no real necessity for people to travel. And like Amit pointed out earlier, it's not only work from home now, it's study from home, it's school from home, it's shopping from home. Everything is home. The home suddenly has become a very important factor in everybody's life, because today, if you're not going out to work and you're working from home, you're consuming almost your 24 hours being there. And hence the ecosystem that is being built today is very inward than more outward.
Very nice. Very great. Sanjay, we'll continue talking to you. We'll move on to our next question to Abhishek. Abhishek, you come from the media industry, which helps in assisting channel partners to connect with their customers who are looking out for properties. You also facilitate customers to help them and reach out to their dream homes, or you assist them and you facilitate them to choose what is the right option that they're looking at. Keeping all those in perspective, how do you see the home buyers in this market scenario perceive about the real estate segment, and what do you see how it is going to span out or shape out in the next 2 to 5 years time?
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Talin. So, just a couple of things. Just to start out with, obviously, looking 2 years, 5 years into the future, that's something which is extremely hard. But there are a few trends which are coming out, especially over the last 3 months. These trends were actually evident even before the corona thing happened, but now they have been accelerated to a large extent.
Okay.
And the first thing that I would like to start with is, obviously we saw a huge impact of the lockdown and the coronavirus on online behavior of almost all home buyers. But the recovery has been extremely swift, which is great news for everyone, right? We weren't expecting a recovery this swift, to be honest with you. Coming into July, we are already at pre-corona levels in terms of traffic, which is great for us. In terms of buyer behavior, there are 3 points that I would like to cover. The first one, and I think Sanjay went into quite a lot of detail, so I'll touch this very lightly, is the fact that obviously location remains an important factor for people making that decision. However, we did a survey, and it's coming out that proximity to workplace might not be as important a factor as it used to be, right? Physical and social infrastructure, especially near your home, they are going to be extremely important factors going forward. They have jumped up in the queue, so to speak. So that's one thing. The second, and I think Amit touched that in his talk as well. A lot of people now, obviously working from home, parenting from home, operating in general from home, you need much larger spaces to work with. So that's also another thing which is going to be, I think, playing out. Existing space, whether you want to repackage it in a way that you show that you have some additional space to work with, that could be one of the strategies that could gain momentum going forward. So that's the second thing. The third thing is the acceleration of certain technologies which we thought were not going to be very important factors. A few months ago, AR, VR, stuff like that, you would say are technologies which are at least 3 or 4 years away from widespread adoption. What I think the lockdown will do is accelerate the adoption of these technologies, because like Amit very rightly mentioned, a lot of people now want to look at these virtual aids before going ahead and making the decision, right? So everyone who has this has an advantage of everyone who doesn't. So that's the third thing. And I think the fourth thing is, in terms of content, what we are seeing is almost all of our users are spending much more time on the platform than they used to do. So the average time spent on the platform has increased quite a bit, which means that they're looking at creatives, they're looking at images, they're looking at videos, they're looking at walkthroughs much more than they used to do earlier. Obviously a byproduct of staying at home. So again, that using content as a competitive advantage is going to be another major trend going forward. So I think all of these, 3 or 4 points that I talked about, all of these we were seeing these even before the lockdown, but now I think all of these trends will get accelerated in the near future.
Interesting. So Abhishek, like you mentioned that AR, VR, these are the technology which is for way forward. Do you see that maybe that will also help a client from a client's perspective to filter the properties that he wants to choose? Maybe earlier he would go and visit 10 properties. Now he would see 10 videos and audios and then maybe go and see the next 2 or 3 properties that.
Very interesting question, Stalin. So an instructive example here is what is happening in China, right? You look at China now and just go on to any of the platforms that they have, and you would see that almost all of the top listings over there will have some sort of AR or VR integration. So from being a sort of a hygiene factor, it has certainly become from being a sort of a luxury factor, it's become a hygiene factor now.
I understand.
So obviously we are not there yet. We are not where China is, but there are a lot of trends, I think, which we will see getting replicated in the Indian market as well.
Interesting. I would like to touch upon the socio-economic status and the buying patterns as well, but I'll come back to you.
Sure.
Let me just move on to the next speaker. Rajesh, are you there? Your transmission issues resolved?
Yes, Stalin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can see you loud and clear as well as.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me this evening with you.
Pleasure is ours, Rajesh. Pleasure is ours. And like you been an inspiration to us while during the lockdown period clocking good numbers, it's an inspiration to connect with you.
Thank you. I
Rajesh,
mean, we can do it. A long way to go.
no, absolutely, absolutely. That's an encouragement that we all are looking at, and that's the insight that we want to connect from you and ensure that every real estate fraternity guy ensures that transaction happens and helps the country to improve the economy with the flow of the cash.
Absolutely.
Rajesh, so my question to you is, we've seen certain trends changing in the real estate. When demonetization happened, real estate took some setbacks. I don't want to touch that as a topic. When GST came in, there was again some, pattern change that had happened in real estate. All of a sudden, a lot of customers started moving from, under construction project and planning stage. They started moving into ready to move in apartments. There was a pattern change, and there was GST, there was RERA, which was giving them the confidence in terms of buying a ready-made property rather than moving into an under construction property. Do you see any prospective shift now in the post-corona period, post-COVID
No,
period?
even today, we are getting good volume of inquiries where customers are seeking ready to move inventories. So it's not only because of GST. There are various factors. One is the trust factor, another one the pre-EMI component factor, and of course, due to the recent notification by the government of Tamil Nadu, you don't have to pay registration cost on the complete apartment value or the uh, house value. You just have to pay on the UDS and the construction agreement. That's the cost of registration.
Correct.
So because of this, also customers are looking for ready to move inventory, and there is no GST, of course, on the ready to move inventory. So apart from these reasons, these are the major factors because of which why customers are looking for ready to move inventory. So as Sanjay said, location is key. So in a particular location where customers are looking for apartments, where you do not have supply of ready to move apartments, customers are willing to look at apartments which are 6 months down the line ready to move, or 1 year down the line ready to move. So in case we run out of inventories over there also, then they would look for inventories which are 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line. And of course, it doesn't mean that under construction properties are not selling. There are clients who are looking for staggered investment over the period of next 2 years, 3 years. But those investments are happening with builders who are reputed and who command good trust among the customers. So there, the under construction properties are also selling. So we have sold even properties recently, that too in June and July. We have sold under construction properties which are slated for delivery in 2023-24. So, and those products got sold because of the trust factor.
Right. So, Rajesh, again, this question is quite prospective because I am not from Tamil Nadu. I'm typically from Bombay. So, Bombay, there are ACAT developers and BCAT developers. Rarely you see a CCAT developer, things like that. But the same is not the case for Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, there are so many self-proclaimed developers. 2 grounds, 5 grounds, they're developers. 4 houses, they make their developers. So, the factor that you mentioned in terms of trust, wherein one side there is trust, second side there is GST, convenience of registration payment. Also, your dreams are, you can touch, feel, and experience what the product that you're getting. So, how do you divide that as a business?
Yeah, so if you ask me if CAT C or CAT D developer comes out with an inventory today and says that I'm going to deliver in 2023 or 24, it becomes very difficult for them to sell unless and until there is no supply in that particular location. Let's say a boat club example. So there you don't have supply. Even if a CAT C developer comes with a decent reputation of, let's say, 4 to 5 years of experience in the real estate, still those inventories will sell if they say that 2 years down the line is when I'm going to hand over. But then if the same developer comes out with the inventory, let's say in a market like Kelambakam, where there are a lot of inventories left, unsold inventories, though the volume is coming down in terms of the unsold inventory, but then you have ready to move inventories there also. There, the same builder will not be able to sell because of the brand pull which he has.
But he still has RERA to support him, right? He's a RERA registered developer. He will deliver on so and so time. That kind of a confidence should come, right?
That kind of confidence, yes, it is there, but still many of the customers have not seen the power of RERA yet here in Chennai, while they have seen, I would say in Tamil Nadu, while they have seen the power of RERA in Mumbai, in Maharashtra as a whole. So yes, we have a long way to go as far as the confidence building is concerned with regard to RERA.
So can we safely say that a reputed developer with a beautiful project completed, with great quality and ready to move in, that's the product that is more easier to sell for a client's perspective?
Definitely.
Fantastic. I like your confidence on that. Rajesh, we'll keep talking to you. Let me move on my next question to Mr. Ram Kumar. He's been patiently waiting for us.
Sure.
Ram Kumar ji, just to take some cues from what Abhishek mentioned, the dynamics of social economy is changing. And again, then we have Corona. We have the pandemic situation where the social distancing is important. He also mentioned somewhere that, the need of the hour is becoming that you have to spend more time in the house, which means the earlier compact houses or the small houses which were apt, now it is not the case. Now you need an extra room, maybe to convert it into an office or convert it into a self-learning or home learning kind of a concept. With all that in mind, how do you see the social infrastructure impacting the housing projects?
Social infrastructure has a lot of bearing and influence on the real estate sector. It enhances the living conditions of the people living in a particular place. It also has a market value when the social infrastructure is in place. Today, to take any decision, to influence the buyer, the social infrastructure is very essential and important. Your social infrastructure like your schools, your marketplace, your malls, your walking tracks, your gyms, or the additional value what is in the infrastructure adds a value. So this is a major influence as WFS has come, that is work from home culture has come. You need to feel that comfort sitting there and everything is accessible. And today it is very important that these are all at an accessible distance, which really influences a buyer in the marketplace. And, today, the more the open space, the parks, the green space you give, it is going to enhance his living condition, and he is going to feel much better living in such a social infrastructure developed place. So, to my conclusion, if you ask me, social infrastructure is very essential in deciding what and where, how to live for an individual. And
So
that's in this new age culture.
Yeah, please go ahead.
And in this new age situation, and where the dynamics are changing, and it will keep on changing. It's not like what you see a decade back. The changes are going to be very faster now than expected, because we were expecting this change to come after a few years. But in this situation, pandemic situation, now things have changed so fast that social infrastructure is the must for any person to buy a property home.
So as I hear from you, Mr. Ramkumar, that see, earlier the social infrastructure was different. It was, outside my house. I have to go to a market. I have to go to a community center, or I have to go and meet my friends. But with this pandemic situation or the confinement situation, the social infrastructure is changing. Now the responsibility becomes on the developer to ensure that the density is further reduced instead of having, 1,000 families, he can look at larger space with less number of families, so that when there is an epidemic of such type, they are better equipped to control that. The proximity comes in place in terms of what kind of lifestyle amenities are in and around your project or inside your project. What is an essential that the developer is providing, instead of being dependent on going an external club and things like that. Is the tuning correct, sir?
It's very important, as you said. No, the developer has to have this in mind when he when he develops a property. The infrastructure should be within the said development, where it helps the people who are living there to have an access to that in a very proper manner. They don't have the time or luxury to go out and, travel a little further to avail these facilities. All that which is inbuilt helps a lot in this process. That's where, the clubs, the gyms, your cycle tracks and your walking tracks, your jogging tracks, your malls, your marketplace, and even a small pharmacy or a small healthcare center within the premises, within the infrastructure, helps in the decision making and influences a lot. That is very important in the future. And people are feeling safe in such situations when all this social infrastructure is in the place where they're buying the property.
Very nice. Very interesting perspective. So, which means now the developers who've got luxury landscaping, more space, more amenities, and maybe having extra garden space inside the house, or an extra room or an office kind of a space, these are the kind of products will be more in terms of demand.
Yes. This is what will be the major influencing factor. And, this will give a market value also for them in future. Because every other infrastructure, what they're looking for is there, and creates a value in terms of real estate too.
There's a very interesting question which is cropping up in my mind just with reference to this discussion. I'd like to take this liberty to ask this question to Sanjay, if you don't mind, Mr. Ramkumar. I'll come back to you. Sanjay ji, with this as a perspective, yes, where do you see the prices moving? Is it going north?
So, Stalin, right now the prices are stagnant, and because of the global situation, what it is. But if you look at what has happened in Chennai historically, is that as a city, we are very resilient. So we've always bounced back very strongly, whether it was the tsunami which happened, whether it was the floods, which was the global financial crisis. I don't see the situation prolonged. So among the top 7 cities, if you look at Chennai, it's always fast to bounce back from any pandemic or anything that has happened in the past. If you look at the trends on pricing, the price between 2010 to 2015 or 2014 were at about a CAGR of about 10 to 12% per annum. So we had a fantastic appreciation. 15 to 19 has been at about, say, 6%, 5-6%. 19 and 20 has slowed down because of various reasons that we all know. But going forward, I don't see that the situation on prices is going to be stagnant or going to go down as many people may predict. I don't think so, because home is a necessity. And all the more now after the pandemic, you're looking at people, and the data that was released a couple of days back by one of the publications said that almost 59% of the population today who is living on tenanted homes is looking at buying homes. There's a huge diaspora of NRI population which is coming back into India through reverse migration, right? So Tamil Nadu has got close to 45,000 reverse migration people coming back into the state. Even if 10%, 20%, 30% decide to live in Chennai, you still have a huge buying population coming in. So I don't see the prices remaining the way it is today, pretty stagnant. Once the demand starts going up, and most of the panelists would agree that we are seeing more and more, interesting trends happening now. Even though it's COVID times, we see that the search has gone up, the aspiration has gone up. People are definitely looking to buy. So it's probably a matter of a little more time that we'll see the prices. I wouldn't say going northward very sharply. It's not going to be a V recovery, but you'll at least see a U recovery happening very quickly where the prices will start going up organically in the next, say, 3 to 6 months from now?
So I'm in 100% agreement with you, Sanjay. And this is a very strong message that as a real estate fraternity, we all channel partners should accept this and spread the word that real estate as an industry for last 5 years, not because of Corona, not because of GST, not because of RERA, not because of demonetization. I don't want to say it is because of so many things, but the industry has been going through tough times. That the developers' margins are thin, or rather, I don't know in which margins are they working. So in this perspective, we should spread this positive message in the market that there is very bleak chances of pricing getting lower. This is the right time to best buy because from here it is only going to go up. There is nothing more to go down.
I agree with you, Stalin, totally.
Fantastic, fantastic. So in this perspective, thanks Sanjay. Let me ask this question to Amit. Amit, Sanjay mentioned that historically, small city centers are developed. I mean, the traditional Chennai was there, and then smaller Chennai, further Chennai, OMR, GST, GNChetty, etc. There are so many small pockets which has become a self-sufficient city center of its own. In this perspective, what do you think? CBD of Chennai is preferred, or PBD or SBD? I don't even know the terms. What are these PBD and SBD? But what is more preferred for a real estate?
Well, first things first, for the majority of the audience, I know everybody knows about CBD. CBD is the commercial business district.
Right.
Those who are unaware of the terms of PBD and SBD, because they are very rarely used, primary business district and secondary business district are actually very rarely used. And basically, like you mentioned, cities are growing. Every area becomes self-sufficient. We actually saw it happening initially with Ananagar. Then we saw it happening with Velachery. Then we've seen it happen in actually Omar, in actually certain areas of ECR, Palavakkam, Neelankare, and all of that. So basically, when you're asking me that where people will buy, well, everybody is looking for a better lifestyle. Okay, as time goes. All of us, I mean, my family also lived in Paris Corner at some point, prior to 1965. And then we moved out, we actually came to Egmore. A lot of people went further down to South Chennai, some went towards Ananagar, so on and so forth. So it is more about the openness, more about the space. And especially post-COVID, it's all about space, primarily about space. But when you say space, there are two different generations. The older generation, which is like 40 plus, which is like, most of, sorry, I can't say most of us, but at least me, we are all used to a certain area. I'm very comfortable in CBD. So, I would ideally like to go and buy something in the area where I already live in. Just like how Sanjay mentioned, it's about space. It's about locations. I want to be in this location. I want to be somewhere around Egmore. It's all about low density living, just like how you mentioned. Post COVID, more area, more actually open space. Fewer people. That's very important. That is the kind of inquiries that we are getting today. So lower density, more openness. In between, the whole concept moved to walk to work, and now it's work from home. So walk to work was living very close to your place of work. So people in CBD wanted to live in actually CBD. People on OMR wanted to live on OMR. Today it really doesn't matter where you live because work from home has become a reality. So we get inquiries when people who are living in these cramped apartments and budget homes say that I don't mind going a little bit away, get me a plot of land. They are actually willing to go for a plot of land. And people who are 40 plus, those kind of inquiries are actually coming to us that get us a bigger apartment in the heart of town. We are comfortable in the place that we are in. We just want a lot more space. So this is two different generations. That's how I would actually look at it. The people who have money will definitely stick to CBD. There is no doubt at all about it. See, the big change today is that what's happened is that post-COVID, we are seeing lesser number of inquiries. And it also means lesser number of inspections. But the seriousness of the inspection has drastically gone up. You'll be surprised to know that Vinay, who's the face of Luxclusive Homes, who's also my partner, he has closed 6 transactions in that 1 month between May and June. There was a month over there. We had actually closed 6 transactions. We had 2 registrations then, and now we are working towards 4 registrations now. We have 2 fixed on the same Thursday that we're coming to do a shoot at your place. So the rates of conversions have actually multiplied. It means it's more buck for our time. It's the best time for us to be in real estate. I'm actually saying this out of the experience that we're seeing now. I just hope it continues. So for us, it's luxurious, spacious properties. It's the best time to be in. We have completely come out of budget spaces. I mean, no offense to everybody. Everybody finds finds marketing what they are comfortable in. We are very, very comfortable in actually luxury spaces. So whether it's CBD or PBD or actually SBD, at the end of the day, it's about more space. And actually CBD is preferred by the richer businessmen. They like to be in the heart of town. You've seen South Bombay. It's the who's always in the heart of town. So that's where they're going to be.
So the nostalgic feeling, the nostalgic value also pulls in that you've grown here, you've lived here, and you want to come back over here, right? In the previous time, because of space or because of maybe price growth or things like that, you were moving out. Now that you don't need to be worried about walking to work because the concept of work from home has come, it is better to be in the heart of the city, better to be in the CBD, and be connected with what's happening in and around.
Absolutely. So no, those are the bulk of the inquiries that we're seeing. We're also seeing plots in actually far off locations, but the bulk is bigger spaces in the heart of the city.
And it is such fantastic positivity to hear that the TN Reka president says that I am doing fantastic. I'm sure he's helping his team members to do better as well. And the Kriya president is saying that I've done 6 deals, 4 registration, another 4 I'm going to do, etc. And plus I'm clocking record-breaking prices in apartments, and he's helping his team members also to do better. So what a learning. What a learning for all the channel partners associated over here. Together, we are going to bring the positivity of the industry and help the economy keep rolling ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Further, I forgot to add earlier that we came to your site to check your SOPs also because I am bringing 50 of my members to your site next Saturday. So you know about that. So I wanted to check that everything is in place and 50 of my people are absolutely safe and comfortable coming there.
Fantastic. Your association members are also safe and they are welcome, and all their clients are also will be safe and they are also welcome to come to our project.
Sure. Thank you.
So Abhishek, the topics and the concepts are getting more and more interesting, and you are from the research and the expertise domain. Just wanted to understand, how is the nature of the buyer evolving with this post-COVID period? What are the kind of investment perspective coming up? People, are they looking out for first-time buy or repeat buy, or are they looking out for investment options? Do they want to cash at this particular juncture?
Right. Yeah. So I think this is a problem that we sort of delved very deeply into over the last, let's say, a month. Looked at what the kind of behavior that users are showing on our platform. So just to laying out 3 or 4 major points that we sort of encountered. The first thing which came out of our research and our survey is that real estate continues to be the preferred investment asset class for almost most of the users that are coming onto the platform. So it's not that the virus has changed the landscape that way. Closely followed by gold. So those two remained the top 2 preferred investment asset classes. The other thing that we saw was that our fear was a number of our users would be postponing their home buying decisions by a long period of time, right? So we asked them that, and the good part is that only around 21% of our users said that they put their plans indefinitely on hold, which means that the rest of 79-80% of people are either looking to buy within a year or are looking to buy right now, which is again a good thing for almost everyone here. When it comes to first-time home buying versus repeat buying, I think the trends are sort of the same that they used to be pre-corona. So 73% of our users said that they are first-time home buyers, which is again close to where we were before the lockdown. That this number used to be in the region of 70 to 75%. RTMI, as we've already discussed, it continues to be a very strong preference. 60% of users said that they were looking for an RTMI option, and another 21% said that they were okay with possession within a year. So, combined, looking at 75 to 80% of our users are saying that, RTMI plus possession in the near future is going to be important for us. Again, 72% users turned out to be users which are looking for end use rather than investment, and which is again sort of expected, because right now investment, you would be a lot more circumspect when you are evaluating an investment decision in this particular scenario. And finally, I think, as I also mentioned, and all the panelists have been talking about it as well, the appearance or the perception of safety is going to be an extremely important decision for almost everyone who's making a home buying decision in the next 5 or 6 months. So when we talk about safety, we talk about obviously the site visit experience, which is going to be important. Because no matter how much our virtual tools have evolved, people would like to go and visit properties, and when they go and visit, the safety is going to be an important factor. So combined with as Amit was talking about, having space is going to be an important thing. So those space and safety, the two S's that we've repeatedly encountered in our user surveys recently. So yeah, those were the major things that came out of the study that we did post the lockdown.
We're saying 79% of your customers who have been visiting your portal are ready to buy.
Plus possession within a year. So 60%.
Plus possession within a year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So there is enough and meat for every channel partner, every developer, and there is a buzz which is going around in the right positive direction.
Right. Absolutely.
So, Amit, thanks, Abhishek, for the insight. Let me ask this question to Mr. Ramkumar. Amit very subtly said he's about 40 and he didn't want to mock us. I would like to accompany him. So on that perspective, what is your opinion, Mr. Ramkumar, that we in the millennial people, the millennial gentry, what is the buzzword? Sustainability, design, planning, what is the buzzword which is going on in our generation?
See, the millennials are looking at living a more conscious lifestyle. They represent a huge segment of the current and future home buyers. Millennials are the ones who were born after 1980, and between 1980 and 2000 are the millennials. They are looking at a very conscious lifestyle. They look at a very the urban planning, design, and the development is a very influencing factor, and it's got more attention around them. And they're going to really turn around the housing market, because their influence is going to be more, which the developer will understand and will try to provide, because they think greener, and they're not able to achieve it. So to attain that, only the developer can give the green concept buildings to them. Hello?
Yes, tell us. Hello. Listening.
Yeah. So the green building practices, the design, the urban planning, all these are a major influence factor on the millennials. So they think, but they are not able to achieve that goal. It's there where the developer can help them achieve that. I believe as a developer yourself, on the developer side, you are all planning to give that kind of product, which is very important, that influence the millennial now.
I 100% agree with you, sir. In fact, in the last 1 year, what we have experienced is our target audience in the socio-economic bracket has kind of shifted from the early 35s to 45. Instead of that age bracket, now it is the 30 to 40. This is the age bracket who is, purchasing and buying luxury product and buying luxury houses, lavish apartments and things like that. The young CEOs, the young managing directors, the startup owners, these are the people who's aspiring for buying premium and luxury property. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramkumar, for sharing this insight. We have taken a lot of time. Just, I would like to ask one more question before I open the option of raising questions to our panel discussions. Rajesh, I would like to take this opportunity to ask this question to you. Uh, what are the aspects considered by home buyers when they are planning to buy a property? If you can share this insight for all our channel partners, we'll be grateful.
Okay. The key aspect is number one, as one of the panelists earlier said, proximity to the school of the children. That is very, very important aspect. In recent times, parents are willing to travel to their workplace, but they do not want their children to travel a longer distance than, let's say, within 5 kilometers. No, they don't want their children to travel. That is one aspect. Number two, what we have recently seen is people are within the city, as far as the CBD is concerned, people who are living in independent homes are aspiring to move to gated communities. Reason being, when we check with them, they say reason is they don't want to spend time in maintaining, then following up with the plumber, the electrician, right? So every day, this is the actually it is a pain for them to manage their independent house. On top of that, the safety and security aspect is also important. So that is why they want to move to a gated community whereby all these aspects are taken care of. All they have to do is pay the maintenance fee on a monthly basis, and rest is taken care of. So they are moving into gated communities, the apartments where the safety is assured, where they have good networking opportunity with others in the community. So that is another aspect which we have seen, what people are looking at currently when they're buying. And the third aspect which comes to mind is the maintenance, the society. There are a few communities where the maintenance issues are there. There is no cooperation within the society.
Rajesh, you've gone on mute.
Sorry, I was getting a call. Because of those challenges, they want to move to societies where they are certain that the maintenance is taken care of. They don't have to be worried about the association, right? So these aspects are also very important among the buyers which we have recently dealt with. And the fourth and final aspect, what we have seen recently, is they are looking for an additional room. During this COVID pandemic, people who had earlier inquired, they have re-inquired with us, and we have seen that many of them are asking for an additional room, a bigger home. So they are looking for bigger home because I think this work from home is going to stay for some time, and it will continue. So we are seeing inquiries going up for a larger home buying. So these are some aspects which we have seen during this COVID period.
So these are the points that you mentioned where the category of the developer also comes in play. The A category person, they envision what are the kind of challenges that their customers can face, and they plan it and give the kind of a concept and a luxury to their clients. Excellent. In the paucity of time, I would like to close this discussion. It was such a healthy and such interesting, knowledgeable, knowledge sharing session that maybe I would like to personally connect and take this conversation further. But for now, for the audience who've been patiently listening to us, would like to close this discussion.
Talking about the transformation that's happened because in the digital space. For us in HDFC, it's been a roller coaster over the last 3 months. We have what we would have done in 2 years, we have done in 3 months. And I'm proud to say the kind of onboarding we have digitally for customers until the end of the transaction, the loan is disbursed, and even post disbursement. We have the platform to take on any kind of volume. So we have a very robust system today. So that I can proudly tell you, and I think this is customers today. It's a norm today. It's a hygiene more than anything else. And just to give you a few numbers, last 2 months, we have had at least 20,000 customers inquiring in Chennai about home loan products. And the majority of them have been asking about proper purchase of property. Again, the majority of them in that are asking for ready to move in. So the ingredients are all there. Stalin is agreeing in. So the ingredients are all there. They want ready to move in properties. And we appreciate that fact. And we have brought in a new campaign as we speak, which will be, passed on to all the channel partners as well as the developer fraternity, where we are going to give exclusive offers on the ready to move in property. So having said all this, I think we are in for a really good, scenario where people are looking at properties that go to the numbers speak for themselves. And thank you so much, Stalin. We look forward to working with you and your team much more in this project and future projects as well. Thank you much.
Thank you so much, Ramesh. You've been a pillar of support always. Guys, that has been always a secret. Whenever there is a customer who's in negotiation stage, we have invariably taken help from HDFC's involvement to give the customer the confidence to bridge the gap, to bridge and things like that. And Ramesh and his team has gone out of the way, helped us in closing customers who are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Ramesh, your help is always welcomed, and we will keep coming to asking for help. And if you can find a mechanism with all these channel partners also and give them the same kind of support and help that you've been helping us, it will help in the interest of the economy and help in the interest of the industry.
Stalin, since you mentioned that most of these channel partners are already associated with us,
fantastic.
We are good friends, and of course, we are this industry, and all of you. If you sell, we do our business. Otherwise, we are out of business.
Absolutely.
So the support goes without saying. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Ramesh. It's been a fantastic evening. Everybody sharing that they've been doing good numbers. Ramesh is saying that 20,000 customers are inquiring for home loan. Amit sharing that so many registrations are happening. Rajesh sharing that so many transactions happened during lockdown period. Ram Kumarji saying businesses. Abhishek is saying so many more and more customers are still waiting in the queue to purchase and do transaction. Sanjay is not quoting numbers, but saying yes, yes, yes. I am also in the same boat. I leave with this positive note. I'd like to invite Adlin to come on board and share about our property. We are from the part of the Express Group. There's no need of introduction. We all know each other. Express Group is the Indian Express Group. Traditionally, the Indian Express Group was operating from here. Pride Club was operating from here. Our late Mr. Ramnath Goenka ji purchased this property from the Madras Club. Then he started the Indian Express. Then his granddaughter, Miss Kavita Singhania, she started the mall business. The mall was doing phenomenally well in terms of the list. And to continue on the luxury space, she planned this beautiful project, Express Exclusive, which was the earlier name. Now we call it E-Residence. And there are great news about E-Residences, which I would like to invite Adlin to share. And please don't go away. I would love to announce the incentive, the channel partner benefit to promote and sell the Express property. Adlin, over to you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much time off to participate in this webinar, and the panel discussion was fantastic. And the insights, I'm sure, has been lovely, and it will be useful to take the next step forward. So quickly, I know that all of you have visited the project umpteen number of times from the initial, the current stage of handing over as well. So maybe for the new joinees here into the real estate market, I would just like to quickly give brief on the product, and I will also tell you the latest update, and then we can always catch up at the site over a coffee. So ours is a 5-acre gated community. Overall, the entire premises belongs to the Indian Express Group, spearheaded by Ms. Kavita Singhania, who is the Ramnath Goenka, Indian Express newspaper founder. And in about 11 acres, she has already developed the Express Avenue Mall, which we also have a hotel, and we have some office spaces as well, which is all completely full. It's all been leased out, and it is one of the best generating malls in India. Now, apart from that, we also have an estate of undeveloped land, which is where our MD is currently staying. They have a heritage bungalow, which is where the metro. Now, when it comes to the residents, I would like to also pinpoint that even though this project, because it is, it has land, we have an advantage of road access on all the four sides. So I would also like you to bear in mind that this project, the main entrance is from Clubhouse Road, which is, but yes, additionally, we also have an entry and exit from the Express Avenue Mall, and we also have entry exit from GP Road. And the entry exit point is all connected at the basement level. We've got 3 levels of basement car park, so you can enter from any point and exit from any point. So out of 5 acres, like I said, in the age of Corona and social distancing and the measures that we take, out of 5 acres, we have 70% open space. And we've got very, very limited units. We've got only 3 apartments. And even if you look at each tower, we've got only 30 apartments. Or in some apartments, there are 32. 5 different towers, 3 towers of 3,000 square feet, 1 tower of 4,200 square feet, and 1 tower of 6,600. And our architects from Singapore have designed it in a very beautiful way that each floor has only 2 apartments, which is not even connected at all on all the 3 sides. There's one side that is connected near the lift lobby. So you have a privacy and feel of an independent house. So, like I said, the 3,000 square feet is 2 different layouts. We've got study or three bedroom plus a small workstation. And we also have a proper 4 bedroom. And the bigger units, we are very limited in inventory. In the 4,000, we've got only 30 apartments. And in terms of 6,600, we've got only 16 apartments. The inquiries have been phenomenal. And like I said earlier, we've got people from a radius of 5 to 10 kilometers who have, who have found independent house difficult to be maintained, who are moving into a gated community, considering the lifestyle and safety features as well in mind. We have already spoken about location, so because of the shortage of time, I would like to quickly tell you that you have always seen us from the start. I will show you, just give me a second, on the status of the project. So if you actually see are ready to move in, I think you can look at the screen to see some latest images of the property. So what you're seeing here are the finished towers, and we have just started the landscaping, so it's a little patchy because we've just started. You're in the central, this is the courtyard area. Swimming pool work is also going on currently. Now, to give you the good news, during the lockdown, in the month of May, we actually got our CC. So during the situation when all the offices were shut, we managed to get our CC, which is fantastic. And post receiving the CC, we have also applied for all the utilities. So your EB water has already been applied. And, for people who know the process of getting the EB connection in place, we have got the CIG. We will be getting the CIG approval in the next 2 to 3 days. And then we are just going to have the EB meters installed in the respective houses. All set for people to move in. In March itself, we have actually handed over our apartments for people to, start their interior work. So currently there are work happening in almost 50 apartments that we have sold. And I think probably in a month's time, we will have people moving in here. So this is the exact time for you to on because like you guys know, there's going to be no GST because we've got the CC, and government also has given us a lot of benefit in addition. Now they don't have to pay the 11% on the overall cost. They're just going to pay 2% on the construction and 11% on the land cost. So to our calculation that we did, can easily be saving almost 1 crore if they book an apartment now. Also, they can touch, feel, and buy what they are going to, touch, feel, and then buy. And I think I actually wanted to touch upon a lot more topics because of the shortage of time. I would like to stop here and be announced, and then we can always catch up after that. And we are going to be connecting. I'm sure you're going to be registering leads as well. So all the best. You for your time.
Thank you so much, Adeline. So, guys, just to summarize, Adeline mentioned the good news, the completion received. We are in the process of completing our other requirements in a mere amount of time. People who buy today and envisage to move in a month's time, plan their furnishing and stuff like that, and immediately move. Amit also mentioned our SP practice for the safety and the hygiene factor to take care of US channel partners, also to take care of your customers who are experiencing this particular property. We have digital tools like the videos, the photographs, and things like that. But I strongly believe the space of selling is never going to go. Right? You can see the property on the video, you can see the photographs, but what you touch, feel, experience, and the conviction that you get to buy. As well, my number is also shared on the chat. Feel free to connect with us, block appointment. Sorry, can you guys hear me? Right. The best part about technology, it always gives you problem. This is the personal touch is always needed. Okay, guys, so the incentive scheme is quite simple. We come back to our incentive scheme that every transaction that you do, 3% of payout, our normal payout is 2%. We being in the super luxury segment. So 3% is the payout per transaction. If you do 3 transactions, from the third transaction, we will give you 5%. That means if you do the third transaction, which means all the transaction, we will give you cumulative of 5%. If we do the math, your incentive once you complete 3 transactions comes to roughly around 1 crore rupees. So Adeline mentioned that there is a savings for the customers that if they buy today, because the completion certificate is received, they don't have to pay on GST. The registration value is a little cheaper. So the customers also save approximately 1 crore rupees, and channel partners also get an opportunity to earn 1 crore rupees as payout. So please help us to give this experience to us, and me and Adeline, we both are available to help you guys to close the transaction. Are we in good space to close, guys? Super. So channel partners, all your videos are off. The excitement of this 1 crore rupees is not seen. Yasir giving the 36-degree smile. Balaji is come. Rajesh is come.
50 plus of us will be at your site next Saturday, Stalin.
Superb, Amit. We're looking forward. Dilip is given a thumbs up and a clap. So I'm sure he's excited with this incentive scheme. It is in the interest of us to help the economy to improve, which means transaction should happen. And so much of positivity is there in the real estate industry. Till 1 month back, the webinars that I was attending, I was only getting the sense that people are just trying to motivate others. But your achievement that my fraternity people are doing extremely well. So I'm all happy for you guys. Thank you so much, my wonderful panelists. It was wonderful speaking to you, getting so much of insight. Let me sign off. Thank you so much. And we will keep connecting soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stalin. It will be a 2020 speed.
Fantastic, sir. Look forward much.